Good morning, everybody. Pardon me. It is Tuesday. I believe it's 29th of July. Man, did July go fast. June seemed to kind of creep along, and July has gone by rather quickly. It's always sad because the 30 days has September, April, June, November, all the rest of 31 day long Sunday known as August is before us. And, it's sad. It's sad. But it's a hot summer, and so I'm sure the cooler weather in the fall will come as a relief. And when you hit a certain age, the entire year flies by. So the winter will go by quickly. Before we know it, it'll be spring again. But there you go. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, Peter. Hold on, let me get my cruise control set to 25 because they're very serious about speeding in Fairfield. Morning, Eric. Morning, Matt. Yes, I'm alive, Eric. So we went to, what a story. We went to Virginia over the weekend. First getaway, I believe, in a year, maybe longer. And I got to tell you, as much as it was needed and as much as it was nice to relax, I hate going away, and only because I miss out on so much back here. And it's always when I decide to go away, which is very rare. But everybody and their mother, who I might have needed to talk to for business-related purposes, decided that last weekend was the weekend they were going to make their rare trip to Gettysburg. So, of course, Thursday and Friday, I start getting text messages, hey, I'm going to be in town this weekend, let's get together. And that didn't happen. And so anyway, we go to Winchester Friday. And I love Winchester. If you haven't been, you gotta go. It's a great little town. Hung out with our friend Casey Turbin, had dinner with him, and talked a little bit about addressing Winchester and how that's gonna fall under the Addressing History banner when we rebrand in January. And, somebody's burning something. And, so it was a good time, great time. Stayed at the Washington Hotel, very nice place. It was actually a birthday gift from Casey to get the room for us. That was very nice of him. We ate at a place called Vibrasa or Vibrasa or something. I don't know. It's right near the Washington Hotel. Very good. It's a brewery, great food, great beer. And in the morning, they do coffee while you're waiting for the reasonable and moral time to start drinking. So that was good. Then the next day, we got up to go to my family in Warrenton. And I said to Cindy, you know what? We don't have to be there until late this afternoon. I told them that's when they can expect us. So let's just drive. It's like 40 miles away. Let's drive aimlessly through the countryside and enjoy the beauty of Virginia. And we're on Route 17. I come up over a rolling hill, and with no time for me to properly react, there's some debris in the road. And I swerve times, but the rear driver goes over it, and we have a blowout. Ba-boom! Big blowout. So I pull over. Now the problem is, we're coming out of a bend, and the only place to pull over, the safe place to pull over, is coming out of this bend. And the shoulder is barely wide enough for Cindy's SUV. And so I pull over, we call AAA. AAA says, and we'll talk about this more on EG Today next time. AAA says, all right, we'll be there in a half an hour. I said, great. I go, we're in a very precarious spot. Either someone is going to hit us or someone in the right lane is going to veer over into the left lane reflexively and run somebody off the road or something. There's going to be an accident if you don't get an officer out here. And they said, well, you got to call 911 for that. Okay, fine. So we called 911. And we're in Fauquier County, and, I was kind of not really paying attention. And so they answer, Fauquier County. And I said, well, Fauquier County. And they said, no, this is Fauquier County 911. I go, oh, sorry. So I was like, what do you know about Adams County? How'd you know I was there? And there's nothing. So anyway, I tell them what happened. And I tell them we need someone to come out and block traffic until the tow can arrive. Oh, by the way, it's not a tow that they were sending. It was an assistant. So it was like a super minivan, with the proper tools to take care of everything. I'm saying we need to be towed to a safer place for anyone to do the work because they're going to be in the lane of traffic doing the work. So we need a cop. Okay, we'll get someone out to you as soon as we can. An hour and a half later, so while we're waiting, AAA calls. It's not AAA, it's the tow service. And he goes, hey, so my van broke down, and so I have to wait for another van to come, and it'll probably be another half an hour before I'm there. Oh, F me. Okay, fine. What are we going to do? So, another half an hour. Now we're there an hour. But that half an hour is a little longer than a half an hour. It's more like 48 minutes. So he arrives at 12:30. And he's basically like, I can't work here. Like, this is not a safe spot. And I go, I know. I told them that. I told them to send a tow truck. But you come up in a minivan. It was like a Sprinter van. It wasn't even like a full-size take your kids to soccer practice with their bikes in the back minivan. So he's like, yeah, we got to get a tow out here. I got to cancel the order. And he goes, or like if the cops could come. And I said, oh, I already called them an hour ago. He goes, really? And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, try them again. So I called them again. And I was like, hey, look, I hate to tie up the line here, but I called you guys an hour ago, and, there's been a few close calls already, and you're going to have a bigger mess to clean up if you don't get someone out here soon. So finally, they're like, okay, fine, we'll get someone out soon. Well, soon was 1 o'clock. Now we're waiting for a full-size tow to come, and the officer, and the estimate is they'll arrive between 1 and 1:30. So the officer arrives, a sheriff's deputy, sergeant. She arrives, and the first thing she says when she gets out of the car after hello is, very long, we have a possible drunk driver over there, and then she points in the direction. And I go, okay, well, here's the situation. And I said, I'm not really calling for me, I'm calling for all of us, because sooner or later there's going to be a big accident, and I'm assuming it's you guys who are going to have to clean it up, right? And she's like, yeah, that'll be us. And I go, right, so this is your call. It depends on what you'd rather deal with. And I said, if you can get a deputy out here, that would be great, because then it'll avoid something, or we'll see you later. So she chuckles, and she's like, all right, let me go check out this drunk driver, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. When is the tow supposed to get here? And I said between 1 and 1:30, and it was 1 o'clock there. And I said, so if we're not here, if you come back in the next half hour and we're not here, we're okay. Obviously, you'll find out if it's the other way. So she's like, okay, so we'll do what we can. I get back in the car, and Cindy's like, we just got a notification. Now he'll be here between 1:15 and 1:50. I was like, great. We're sitting on the guardrail because we didn't want to overheat the car, and the air conditioning didn't seem to really be cutting into anything anyway. So we're like, let's get outside where there's some moving air at least. So we're on the guardrail, and this car pulls up, and it has a fire fireman's license plate on it. So the guy gets out and he goes, "Hey, has anybody stopped to help you guys?" And we're like, "Oh, it's this big mess." And he goes, "I got a friend who has a tow company. Let me call him." So he calls the friend, tells him what's going on, and the friend's like, "I'll be there in a little bit. I'm 3 miles away." All right, cool. So we're sitting there. The fireman leaves. A couple of minutes later, we hear a car on the other side of the highway going the opposite direction beep twice and wave to us. And I'm thinking, wow, addressing Gettysburg fans here in the middle of Old Tavern, Virginia. Amazing. And no, it wasn't a fan, but he went up and he turned around and came back and, came out, introduced himself, and he's like, "I'll help you. I got tools and I'm a handyman." And he's like, "We'll get you taken care of. Don't need to worry about paying a tow truck or anything like that." Now he's got hand tools, right? Now this guy gets out. He's wearing a straw fedora, and he takes his fedora off and he's walking in the middle of the lane when cars are coming around a bend at 65 miles an hour, and he's waving them over, right? And I'm like, man, this guy's got some balls. So he's waving him over to the other lane, and they're listening to him. Like, wow, I have a hat. I could have done that. I didn't know that, it's legal to do that. So he's got hand tools, and I'm like, dude, they put these on with power tools. It's like, you're not getting them off. And he goes, "No, we'll get it. We'll get it. All right. So he gets the tools out. Now, while he's getting the tools out, the fireman's friend shows up. And while the Good Samaritan is struggling with the hand tools, the tow truck guy goes and gets the gun, comes back, takes it off, takes care of everything. At that moment, the sheriff's deputy shows up and stops traffic 300 yards or so behind us. Now things are working right. I'm standing back there. So we're standing around. They're getting the tire done. Then the AAA tow truck pulls up, and I go over and I open the passenger door and I tell the guy our whole ordeal. We've been now we're there 3 hours. But by the time it's all over, we're there 3 hours. In the 98-degree heat, sizzling on a highway. And I told the guy, I'm like, "Sorry, man, you missed it. Like, a couple of Good Samaritans stopped and helped, and we're almost on our way." So luckily, everybody was cool about it. Like, AAA cleared out the order and didn't want to charge us or anything. And the two guys that stopped, we offered them cash, and they wouldn't accept it, even the tow guy. And so that was cool. That was what we call Southern hospitality. And then we went about our way and went over to my cousin's and had a nice time with my family. But I'll tell you, man, I don't know what the hell it was that we hit. It looked metal. I couldn't really tell because it all came upon us so fast. But that was fun. That was fun. All right, let's see. Who we got? Oh, let me go here. Sorry. Faye, good morning to you. I was thinking we were due for a morning drive. Yeah, you were. Yeah, July was kind of my take it easy month. I had, I don't really get weekends like normal people do. So I take months. I take July and December because it's around those times where I start really getting exhausted, as I've said many times before. So it's a take it easy month. It's not an off month. It used to be. Back in the early days, it was an off month, but now it's a take it easy month, which means there's no scheduled recordings for the most part, and this is where I can catch up on meetings and editing and paperwork and all that other nonsense. And so that's basically what I've spent the month of July doing. And, I barely put a dent in it, but better than no dent at all, I guess. It's progress in minuscule measurements. So that is now coming to an end, and we're getting back to doing our shows. And yeah, working on our transition for next year. We'll see how it all goes. We'll see how it all goes. Some people, when I talk about the addressing history rebrand, everybody gets not everybody, but some people have like said, I don't want to see addressing Gettysburg go away. It's not. We're just putting an umbrella up over it and do other content, but it'll still be addressing Gettysburg. That's my bread and butter. I mean, some good, Samaritan comes along, some benefactor comes along, is like, I like where you're going. I like what you've done. I understand, money makes the world go round. Here's X amount of dollars, which should be able to get you there. Then things might change, but that's not in the tea leaves. So we're going to keep on keeping on as we've been going, but somehow I'm going to add new things to my plate. These tavern talks coming up are one of them. It's August 3rd is the first one. One of the things I'm going to do today in the office is put the ticket, not sales, ticket claims, I guess, where you can claim your ticket if you're a patron to the future tavern talks. I'm going to just put them all up at once, hopefully, and that way you can go and sign up for September, October, and November's tavern talks. So there you go. One modification to the schedule is Jen Murray's Tavern Talk is now going to be about John Burns with the title Terrorist or Hero, or Hero or Terrorist. Or no, actually, I think we've changed it to Freedom Fighter or Insurrectionist. I like Hero better, but apparently there's a new speak today, and we have to call it a Freedom Fighter, not a Hero. Okay, whatever. I'm just thinking it's less syllables coming out of my mouth, and that's the way I work. So the fewer syllables I can use, the better. Top of the morning to you, BKW. Dragoon says, good morning, team. Wonder Monkey says, woo-hoo. William says, good morning, Matt and all. Good morning, William. Barbara, howdy to you. GP Foster says, good morning, good morning, good morning, morning. Dustin, good morning. Eric, hello. Matt Kelly says, sounds like a typical AAA experience. Yeah, I mean, it's not AAA's fault. They did their job. But once it's out of their hands, now you're at the mercy of the tow service. And when you're in like kind of a desolate area, there's really not many choices. And they know that, and if they're busy doing other things, they got to finish their job, But they also know that there's so few of them that they can take their sweet time if they wanted to. But they were all good. They were all very professional. They were all very helpful. And the Good Samaritans were kind of pissed at their fellow Virginians for zipping by us for 2 hours before anybody stopped. But I said, well, those are the transplants from New Jersey and New York, Also, it was a very rich area. And rich people don't stop to help. Okay, let's see. Michael 6 Questions says, good morning. Good morning, Michael. Maybe a banding strip. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It looked like it was something that had shattered. It looked like it had fallen off of it. Like it looked like a piece of an automobile, like somewhere in the undercarriage. I don't know. Like it was such a quick glimpse that I got of it before I could react that I really couldn't tell you what it was. Couldn't even really describe it well. Eric says, they helped you and didn't take your money, but the moment they left, you realized your kidney was gone. Yeah, well, that was the thing I was worried about with the Good Samaritan was, he was, and this is a shame. When somebody is overly friendly, and this is the New Jersey in me, I guess, I'm waiting for them to shiv me in the kidney or something. Because back home, people just aren't overly friendly. And I'll tell you how friendly the guy was. The guy, he went back to his car. He came back with 3 ice-cold drinks. One was Dr. Pepper, one was a Mr. Pibb, and the other was a glass bottle of Coke. And he offered me and Cindy our choice. And he took the glass bottle of Coke and he popped the cap off on the guardrail and didn't realize that he had cut the mouth of the bottle and went and took a swig and cut his own lip. and spit out the shards of glass. But he kept on going, very nice guy. And, it's just sad that someone who's nice and gives you exactly what you need in the moment is suspect. And that's just the way, I guess, our society is now, and that's a shame. But that's because there's been people who have victimized someone pulled over on the side of the road changing a tire. In fact, I remember back in the 90s, this kid in my class, his brother he was a Marine, he went to Desert Storm, and he survived, came back, and was living out in LA, and got a flat, pulled over on the side of the road. No, actually, sorry, someone else had a flat, pulled over to help like a good Marine, and they shot him. He lived, but they shot him. And so that was one of my early lessons in being a good Samaritan. And that was at Catholic school too. So we were getting the message of helping people and, doing for others in their time of need. And then that news comes in. So, life is confusing. Melissa says, do you know how close I was to Hope on the Turnpike and go to Gettysburg? I was so tempted. LOL. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Melissa. Oh, to hop on the Turnpike. Gotcha. Dragoon says, I guess it's no longer being McNaird, it's being Faukyard. That's funny. Ever since I was a kid, we've always had fun with John Burns terrorist says, we're speaking in the context of his day. And I think that's why we switched it to insurrectionist, because I don't think Jen wasn't sure that the word terrorist was widely used back then. So, there you go. Dud or Stud, that's another one. John Brown, the godfather of soul. Oh, James Brown, there you go, yes. 3 ice cold roofified drinks. Yeah, so, okay, Eric, that was the thought that came into my head. I opened it and I put it on, I balanced it on the post of the guardrail, because I was like, and I kind of looked, when he turned away, I looked at Cindy and I was just like, I made a face like looking at the can, because I was expecting like poison on the rim of the can or something like that, Plus, I had to take such a leak that I didn't want any more fluid in me. So when he wasn't looking, I kind of just poured it out over the side, so it looked like and sounded like it was getting empty. But anyway, he turned out to be a nice guy, but you just never know, that's how it goes. Oh wait, did I say John Burns? I'm sorry, did I say John Burns? I meant John Brown. That's what you guys were doing. Okay, John Brown. Oh, I always do that. When I want to say John Burns, I say John Brown. When I want to say John Brown, I say John Burns. It's John Brown. John Brown's raid is what we're talking about. And his body lying a moldering in the grave. Court is very excited about that. He's a big John Brownophile. Faye says, I don't know enough about him to have an opinion, so that'll be cool to have that tavern talk. Yeah, I know very, very little about the whole thing. But I do remember years ago, a British team, I'm assuming from the BBC, it was a news team, they had come to the States to do some piece about the Civil War, and they stopped at Gettysburg, And they interviewed my friend Pete because they stopped in the restaurant that he was working at, and they asked him, you know, well, what do you think of John Burns? Was John Brown? God, was he a terrorist or a hero? And I think Pete's answer was, well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask the state of Virginia and the people at Harper's Ferry, he was a terrorist. But we see him as a hero because we don't believe in slavery. So, that's, I think, what's so interesting about that topic is that, well, when are you talking? Because today, no, we don't see him as a terrorist. He used terror, I guess, violence, to further his cause, which, I generally don't agree with. But that's what he did. And, he had the right cause. So, what is it? So that's what we'll explore. Jim says, does anybody remember the 90s smash hit by two hyped brothers and a dog, Doo Doo Brown? I don't remember any of that. I don't remember the name of that group, nor the song. No, I don't. Sounds like I missed a great one, though. Unsolved mysteries of addressing Gettysburg, of which there are many. Peter Zach says, The Good Love Bird, I think, did a great job of John Brown. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. I gotta see it. The Good Lord Bird, yes. Wait, is that what it's called? All right, we'll go down, what's it called? West Confederate Avenue, and do our typical little loop around the battlefield. How was everybody's July? Did anybody go anywhere interesting? Did you have a better experience maybe driving around a foreign state? Maybe no blowouts? GP Foster says, love the drive-bys of the seminary. Was a student there in 1997. Wow, that was, so we're probably about the same age, I'm guessing, maybe? Or I don't know, maybe people of all ages go to seminary. I graduated high school in 96. BKW says we have a hotel booked for next year's anniversary. Good, good. Dustin says just got back from the Outer Banks. Oh, that's right, you were out there. How was that? I haven't gone there, but it looks so nice, and everybody I know that goes loves it. I need to, there's just so much to do in so little time. So much to do, so much to see. We have, what is it now? Let's see. I guess it would be next week, next Wednesday. We have, we're resuming our Ask a Guides live. I don't remember who's on the schedule, but I will let you know. I'll schedule those on YouTube probably today. At least that's on my agenda. It's usually when I take these break months, I'm chomping at the bit to get back to work, but it's very hard for me to I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And I was saying to Cindy the other day, it's just like I don't know, like I'm feeling like I'm over it. There's too much noise that's kind of drowning addressing Gettysburg. There's too much Gettysburg noise, and you know, I don't know. It's kind of out of it. It's like you work really hard for 6 years, and for a while, you know, you're not the only one, but you're the one consistently, you know, doing the Gettysburg stuff. And then everybody else is like, oh, Gettysburg is low-hanging fruit. Let's go to Gettysburg. And then what used to be a spike period for me, which is July, the anniversary was a big spike, is now the same as everything else. And, you know, things aren't gonna last very long if that's the way it keeps going. And it's discouraging, and it's deflating. And, but I love to do this. I don't really have an interest in anything else. So just gotta buck up. It'll come back. Oh, there's Lewis Trump's giving a tour out there. Oh, on a Tuesday. Oh, good. We got some people giving some answers here. BKW says, was at the Wisconsin Dells over the weekend. What is that? BKW. Is that a baseball team or something? Dustin says, it's nice. Some good history out there as well. Not so much fan of the 2 hours it takes to go 15 miles on track. Yeah, see? I'd have to live there. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little prissy, but if I'm gonna go to the beach, right, I have to have a house at the beach, and I have to have the time to be able to move there for the summer and enjoy it, or the ability, not the time, the ability to do that. And otherwise, it's not worth it for me to sit in that aggravation of the traffic and stand in line to go out to dinner and just people everywhere. And I feel like a cow in a herd of cattle as opposed to a person. And, you know, that's me. Most people seem to like it. They don't care. Or maybe they don't like it, but they're willing to put up with it for the payoff of going to the beach. I like being around the beach. I love to go on the beach in the evening and at night. But there's something about the sea that's reinvigorating. The ocean, that's reinvigorating. And I do like that. But I'm not so much a beach guy. Maybe if I ever got rock hard abs, I would be. But at this point, not really. Stella says, Glenn and I have been married for 41 years today. Oh my God, that's older than I am. That's my July. So you've been celebrating your anniversary for the month of July. Have you done anything fun? And happy anniversary, by the way. BKW says happy anniversary as well. Peter says, got to take AJ on the road. Starlink. Yep. Well, that's one of the things. I'm coming up with a menu of things that we want funding for starting next year, through DH Pioneers. Some are stupidly big that no one's going to contribute to, I'm sure, and some are attainable, and everything in between. So, Rich Sider says, happy anniversary, Stella and Glenn. Everybody's like that. There you go. Matt's feeling like a Sunday morning. Yes, I think. I don't know what a Sunday morning feels like. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Is that what you're saying? Oh, yes, perhaps I am. Eric says, no July trips, but the wife and I are coming to Gettysburg in August for our 10-year anniversary. Well, happy pre-anniversary to you. And GP Foster says, I'm about 12 years older than you, dude. Oh, okay. So were you late to the party going to seminary, or what was the story there? Peter says, got my friends' kids dulling lightsabers. Prob not a good idea for 4 and 6 year olds as they destroy the house, but damn funny to watch. Melissa says, when you go to Antietam in September, it might get you excited to do other stuff. Oh, I'm very excited about Antietam. Yeah, actually, I'm going there tomorrow to shoot some footage with Jen Murray. So what we're doing is, oh, by the way, thank you to everybody, because our tour and meet and greet has sold out, and we are completely surprised. We're surprised, really, not because, obviously Scott is the draw, but we're surprised that he's such a draw that you guys were willing to support both of our nonprofits in the way you have, and we appreciate that very much, and we're thrilled, and also a bit, if I may say, humbled by the whole thing. So thank you for that. And there's been a lot of people that didn't, for whatever reason, didn't get a ticket quick enough or whatever. And some people said that the ticket price, as much as they would like to help out, was not quite in their budget. And we heard you. And we said, you know what? We could squeeze a few more on the tour. So why don't we, pardon me, I had to stifle a burp. Why don't we come up with a cheaper tour-only option? And that's going to be available this week. So that is what we're doing for those of you who, we're looking for a more affordable thing. We had to limit the other one because there's only so much room or so many people that we can get in and around the Schindler House in Shepherdstown. So we had to limit that to 50. And we'll be mostly out in the backyard under some form of a tent or something like that. And it should be a lot of fun. So I'm going down there tomorrow to, shoot a little more footage with Jen, and also talk to the caterer and all this other stuff. So thank you all. But what was I saying? Yes. And it is so refreshing because Antietam is very welcoming. Antietam wants you to visit, and Antietam is not restrictive as to where you could go. I mean, the one thing they have to be a little bit on guard about is parking, because their roads aren't as wide as ours, and there's not a lot of lots and things like that. But otherwise, Antietam is very pleasant to work with. And I remember, like I said, when they were like, no, you don't need to do this, no, you don't need to do that, you don't need to do that. I looked at them like I was shocked, and they looked at me like, why are you looking at me like you're shocked? And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm from Gettysburg. And they rolled their eyes and they're like, oh, say no more. And it's so sad. It's so sad. But whatever. That's the way of the world. So I'm very much looking forward to going there. We're going to, don't forget, August's Get Out of the Car tour is free, and that is at Manassas. And Harry Smeltzer is doing, oh geez, I got to put that promo out too. God damn it, I have so much to do and no time to do it. Harry Smeltzer is doing the tour. Harry has a blog called Bull Runnings, and we're doing a tour of Matthews Hill. And it's not very far that we're walking. Matthews Hill, just like Matthews Head, is rather bald, but there is one patch of trees that we will spend most of our time in to shield ourselves from the sun. So if you're afraid of being out in the hot sun, don't worry, so are we, and we have a plan to protect you from it. So don't fret if you want to come out and join us. The one thing is, parking is tricky down there as well. There's parking at the top of Matthews Hill. There's parking at the bottom of Matthews Hill at the Stone House. There's parking on Henry House Hill, where the visitor center is. The tour starts near the top parking lot on Matthews Hill. So wherever you park, that's where you got to get to. Of course, we will have the Addressing Gettysburg battle flag there. So search the horizon for the colors and rally on the colors. And that is how you will find us. And I hope to see some of you out there. We're not going to be doing these get out of the park tours again unless we're charging for them, because it's not enough juice for the squeeze as far as turnout goes. That's one of the reasons we keep them free, is to get more people coming out. When we can, we keep them free. Gettysburg, they're always going to be free because the pay-to-play price is ridiculous, so we're not going to partake in that. But so we're not going to charge you. But when we go out of town, if we're ever going to do that again, it's going to be probably a fundraiser or something like that, because it's muy ridiculoso, all the work that has to go into putting these tours on for 25 people to show up. So we hope that the turnout will be good in August. We know it's going to be good in September, and we're pretty certain it'll be good in October, because Gettysburg seems to be the place that everybody wants to come. Those who still feel welcomed here, or at least ignore the feeling of not feeling welcomed here. You're always welcomed wherever Addressing Gettysburg goes. How does that sound? G.P. Foster says, went to Gettysburg Seminary for a second master's degree after serving 3 years as a pastor in Center County. Okay, very nice. Reed says, good morning. Glad the Antietam tour sold out. Can't wait. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rich Snyder says, I think Scott, you, and Dr. Jen are all great. You're right. Really looking forward to it. We are too. Six Questions says, I'm looking forward to Manassas. Me too, Mike. I love Manassas. That was my first battlefield growing up as a kid, visiting my relatives. We'd always go out to Manassas. That was always part of our trip. Rain or shine. Rain or shine. And of course, we're going to stop at Bantam Roasters for our second cup of coffee this morning. I believe, I'm going to find out here just now, but oh, God damn it, the bus. Don't let them off yet. Don't let them off yet. God bless America. Oh, God, let me back up now. Get in the spot. Folks, I'm going to have to park and run, because I don't want to wait in line for the indecisive bussies. So, great talking to you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye now.